We were sons maybe 1980, now it is 2020, 2021. What has changed and how do we understand this change? And how do we provide best solutions once we understand? The digital screen and the world's speed has greatly increased. So there are three things that are ruling the world. Inattention, meaning attention shifts from one to the other. So attention span is short, fidelity is short, time has become very short. So people's relationship times are short, and children leave families early, and in other nations, in Western nations by 15, 16, they have a social dole, they are out of home. Then relationships have shortened. Families don't last that long, marriages don't last that long, even jobs don't last that long. People are no more thinking of working through their career in one place, or people are not thinking of working through their career in one field. Things shift, change. So the reward motive is gone down. Reward motive comes from our prefrontal cortex. I am Dr. Lalith. My last post was in a state medical faculty as head of Department of Pharmacology. This has a bit of pharmacology, but it has more things to do with how we think and behave. The prefrontal cortex works for empathy and for execution. So it initiates navigation, successful in conclusion, and this reward motive. So initiation, navigation, successfully concluding comes from dopamine, and when that goes down, serotonin works to say how did you finish it, how do I improve it, how much was well done, how much more has to be done. So that's the important sense of how we live every hour. And this gets disrupted when we are not initiating, navigating and a successful conclusion. When it does not go to the successful conclusion, we don't end up with a reward motive, and we have a generation that has become impulsive. So they are not thinking and doing, they are feeling and doing. So that is a change initiated by the pixel screen rather than think, plan and do, but feel and do. So the think, plan and do comes from the prefrontal cortex. It's called top-down regulation. Just feel and do what might be best comes from the bottom-up regulation. In a world we are stimulated from so many audio-visual as well as kinesthetic inputs. So what has a father got to package? So when I say two generations, beg your pardon, so I'm talking to two generations. Fathers and sons. So when you look at fathers and sons, there's one generation, you may be 30 years old and successful like Zuckerberg, so to say, and your child may be just 3 years old. So 30 and 3, 1:10 proportion of age. You may be 40 years old and your dad may be 65 or 70. So you understand that's a different kind of father-son generation. But all this works through professional fields, sociological fields, economic fields, political fields. All this begins to work through. So hang on with me. So with this fast-paced thing, are you successful? Do you have enough? Are you satisfied? Are you successful, sufficient, satisfied, sensitive? Let me write these things down. Successful, satisfied, sufficient, sensitive, and then significant. The 5 things the human soul works on. We want to feel like that. Am I successful? So we are working for success. Am I satisfied? We are working for that. Is it sufficient? Do I feel it's sufficient? We are working for that. Do I remain sensitive? Many people don't think like that. If we don't remain sensitive, we lose our family, we lose our friends, we lose our kids, we lose ourselves. Yes. Then am I significant? That sense is Am I achieving more and more? It's a flight path. Significance is a flight path. Success is what you have now. Significance is where you're going. So some people get so enmeshed with their success, they have no sense of where they're going. They're embroiled in the present. So, so here is a statement that I have a good shepherd, and I shall not want. This I shall not want. What does that mean? I shall not want. So when we have what we expect, and when we have our experience, expectation, experience, between the two there is a gap. And what do we have between the expectation and the experience? So we have a good gift and we have its range. Where are we in that range? 33% achieved, 66% achieved, or not even 33%. So in your life journey at present, are you giving yourself A, B, C, D, or E? Then some people may feel from till 33, I was A grade, but after that I have lost it. What was it? Was it a relational issue? Was it an economic issue? Was it an unwise decision? Where did I lose it? How can I recover it? So this sense of I have no want is a kind of peace. So here is our expectation, here is our experience. Between the two, when there is a gap, we have hurt, we have humiliation. Third H is horror, a fear that I'll never get to where I deserve, I can. Then we may have hate, this happened to me because of this, that, and the other. Then we lose a lot of energy fighting what we hate rather than loving what we like. So keep a balance on that. Is your energy going to fight what you hate, or are you in a situation you're loving what you love? Where does your dopamine go? Where does your adrenaline go? So hurt, humiliation, horror, hatred, and hexes are recurrently bad things happening to me, that I keep losing vision, keep losing momentum, never get into the 5 S's. So I gave you 5 H's: hurt, I hope you are writing down, humiliation, horror, fears, hatred, and you have to see that your son also goes through these things, your daughter also goes through these things. Then hatred and hexes, bad things happen all over again. The 5 S's we want to work into: successful, satisfied, sufficient, sensitive, significant. Yeah, those are the 5 S's we want to work through with this Father's Day approaching. So we have tackled this thing. So here is another statement: He makes me to lie down in green pastures. There are 2 things there. All I can see is green. I am rested. Lying down meaning I have come to a station in life. I am satisfied with what I have. But that is not enough. Second one is, He's leading me into more resources. So write it down. Satisfied and settled. That's one. It's a good place to be, satisfied and settled. But the second one is working closely. I am seeking and being guided or led into more resources. So before your present satisfaction dwindles, you should be leading into more resources. That's how you work with your son and daughter also. Have a chat with them and say, are you satisfied with what you have? Then you check with them, is everything green or are there brown patches? Where is the brown patch coming from? Is it from a fountain inside that is producing something that is not good? Or it is because he doesn't have enough shade from you as dad? So I have given 2 reasons for a brown patch: not enough water within, he is not supplying what can sustain him. So here is another statement: supply, sustainability. This is all about the inward life, whereas this is economic language also, but it's all about the inward life. Supply, sustainability. If not, things go brown. But on your part as a senior, you provide a shade, a covering, and a boundary of safety. Boundary of safety. That is the senior's role as a father. True for family, true for work field, true for a professional field. We need role models. When we are not being role models, we just criticize everything else without paying the cost of being role models. So the good designer, the good shepherd, has made us a senior, and when we are senior, we are benefactors. We have enough beneficence to share with beneficiaries. So I take it upon myself to provide the boundaries and the shade. Of course, the growing, the next generation must do, and then the inward part of sustainability, supplying sustainability. Then no brown patches. Then we have to help them to identify things that will become poisonous, things that will become thorny, so that the green pastures must remain green. But at the same time, seniors' responsibility as dad or mom, of course we are talking more about dad because we are coming into Father's Day. With dad or mom, we provide the leading, seeking and being sensitive to what is best for your son's future and what is best for your son or daughter's future. So there's a seeking and a sensitivity. If you are too much you person, you will lose sensitivity about others. You are only conscious about your success. That's the problem. But if you are conscious about your significance, sensitivity matters. Significance is, where am I going from here? Success is doing as much as I can do now. Now that's not bad, but that without where am I going next, you won't be able to coach another person. So this is, I have enough now, I'm secure and settled. That's another word, satisfied, secure and settled, but I'm seeking what is next, resources. He leads me into these resourceful places. In the olden day, it would always be a little more of a better well, a better water source that can get more hectare or acres under cultivation or under animal husbandry or whatever it is in the old world. Third point is, he provides a place of restoration. So always with your son and daughter, you must have an hour of restoration. So every day, check up on satisfied and settled, check up on seeking and where are you going further. Then a place of restoration is a place of catch-up. I'm suggesting 7 p.m. as the family hour of catch-up. I call it happy hour. So you sit down and start with what he is satisfied about, where she is settled. Then you speak about seeking more safely. Very important, when you are seeking more, it must be safe, and you must not lose what you now have. That is the important thing about the next step. In Sinhala you say, Allapu attat ne, paya gahapu attat ne. Paya gahapu atta is where you are stable. Allapu atta is what you are seeking. So it's quite an illustrative proverb. So when you are seeking more, you must be sure of your present footing, and that's where dad comes in and asks those sensitive questions and those discerning questions. Son, when you are wanting to do this, are you sure that your footing is safe for you to reach out? Because you know from where you are, reach out is, it should be a safe reach out, not a slippery slope. So here we come to teaching your son, what do you do when you hit a wall? What do you do when you hit a wall? His branch, his growth hits a wall. So will he go on hitting and knocking his head trying to break the wall? No. Use his son, grow tall. So here is a slogan, when you hit a wall, grow tall. Shoot your branches over the wall. So what are you doing? You are telling him how to get to the next, that is God has for him, the Good Shepherd has for him, his ability has for him. There is a God scope inside him. That's what he is growing to. That's what you grew into. And you are helping him to keep this step with the next generation. So third place I told you is this place of restoration or catch-up. You have to provide that. If you miss, you can miss a day, of course, your one day might be busy, but if you lose your son and daughter's progress or regress over a significantly long time, they won't trust you with catch-up, because when they most needed you, you were not there. So my suggestion is 7 p.m. happy family hour, keep a little time of sensitivity. And also it should be confidential, especially if your son is 23 and your daughter or the next fellow is 13, he will not spill the beans, so to say, come out with the truth when there are others younger to him. So you must provide some confidential, safe time. But what is that called? Safe time. And for that safe time, you must be ready. Is a daily safe time necessary? In a sense, in a sexually perverted world, and so much is driven by sex, and the sex enticement is so great, a little daily safe time is a good thing. I call it the GABA time. Usually it comes after eating and when they are sort of resting. Eating is an oxytocin time, happy time, serotonin time. So keep your I had told this before, 5 golden laws: no screen at eating time, no screen at all, no watching TV, all sit around the family table, home cooked food 75% of the time, and that's the way to go. They'll remember the meal times, great meal times, they always remember. Then no screen, minimize screen after 6 p.m., especially fast screen activity. Then take time in between screen activity. After 40 minutes, always take 20 minutes off for some vigorous physical stuff, or just off the screen. Just read a book, not screen reading, just read a book, meditate, get some deep thought time, grow your interconnecting memory neurons. There's a lot of digital coaching you have to do. I have a good book. It's called, let me show you the book. Small books and a big one. This is a big one. This is Winning the Digital War for Millennials and Us All. That's a big one. There are smaller ones that are available, so you can read them with them. Yes, this is called Mission Possible, from the film Mission Impossible. This is Mission Possible. Momcraft and Dadcraft in an age of pixel invasion. Though I call it in that language, it stretches for your children till the age of 24. Dad and mom reading it together and making policies for life. So I'm on this place of providing a place of restoration. It's a safe place. Going with the S's is restoration, catch up, safe place. Fourth one, paths of rightness that have worked for you, you coach them to keep the paths of righteousness, keep the path of rightness. There'll be boulders, there'll be crookedness, there'll be muddy places, but you teach them a track that goes through all terrain and takes them to their best possibility. So these are the 4 things a dad is conscious of. I'm saying dad, mom makes it daily safe. Dad works with the next step and the next stretch. That is the way life goes. Mom makes it daily safe. Dad goes with next step and next stretch. So the early bonding, intimacy, the inner life, children get, children get into inner life, intimacy, bonding with mom, but to go beyond the boundary, to take confidence, competence, those come from their association with dad. So from the age of 5, dad must be quite involved as much as mom. Before the age of 5, mom does a lot more. That does not mean dad can be abdicating, but mom does a lot more. Here are 2 sets of values that you have to deal with. Consider this, please. you, Dad, you may have grown in a generation where truth was absolute. They work with relative stuff. So thrill and peril is okay. Take a chance. I'm not saying it's okay. That's how they feel. Take a chance is okay. Sexual thrill is okay. Peril is, they think like that. The sexual experiments are okay. They think like that. You have to set them right on it. I have an article here by Professor Paul McHughes. I can send this to you by WhatsApp. My WhatsApp, don't phone me, it's only a WhatsApp number, is 076 313 4800. 076 313 4800. You have to say Paul McHughes. Then I send you that doc. This is my 209th clip. Half in Sinhala, half in Tamil, I beg your pardon, half in English and few in Tamil. I'm sorry, there's only few in Tamil. So if you tell me the subject, digital screen or COVID, some subject you are interested in, I can get you the clip. 076, or if you are in another country, +94 76 313 4800. So I'm working through what the father's generation have gone through and what now the son's generation will go through. Now, as I define, the father I'm thinking of maybe 30 years old and your son is 3 years old, or father I'm thinking maybe 70 years old and your son is 40 years old. So you see, I'm covering a vast range of ages to include all. It is not impossible because the factors that affect are the same. Only thing that some factors have become more intense with younger parents. So especially in the area of sexual orientation, you hear a lot of garbage in the name of science, but Professor Paul McHughes is a distinguished services professor psychiatry of Johns Hopkins, and he was for a long time a luminary, and he has quite categorically said homosexualism is choice, not in the genes. Gay is choice. So increasingly young people fall into these experimental modes, transgenderism, LGBTQI being not only being fashionable, now the woke culture makes it like imperative. So you need to get the truth about it. So you need to just say Paul McHughes or sexual issues, then I send a scientific document to keep you well equipped to handle issues if those issues come up. So this is about what people call truth. Second thing, one generation, earlier generation worked with integrity, this generation works with the image. It's how I look on social media, how I sound. So the brand names, branded clothing, even if you are on your debit card, credit card, the brash holidays, and it has to go on social media for visibility. So this generation is working with visibility rather than integrity. Then once upon a time, the family was interdependent and dad and mom and siblings worked together. Now upon a time, there's a lot of individualism, independence. So each one working for themselves, lost in the social media and on the smartphone. So you have to take definite steps to keep family integrated. You and dad, you are the leader. You are the one who has to make the way for all this. So if you yourself are individualistic, so you're hanging on the phone, then you can't get onto this. So the first law for the dad is when you are getting off your vehicle, having come home, no smartphone can't be in sight. You can't walk into home with your smartphone because you are saying what I am on the smartphone is more important for me than what I am at home. So if you have to finish your conversation on the smartphone, be inside the car and finish it. And when you are out of the vehicle, parked in the garage, and you appear through the door of the house, you are just dead. And that is your best role. Corporate can hire and fire you, your family can't. They have you for life. That's how God designed life. So this individualism that you attend on your independence, so we have to teach them that how the digital screen has pushed them to be individualistic. Then the earlier generation grew with social involvement. This generation is growing in social isolation. They are losing a lot of social skills. We have to take guard about that. The earlier generation was into service. We served each other in the house. This one, they will want to have their meals inside the room. You have to resist that. So it's about self-survival. You will find this in the workplace. So I'm family, workplace, professions, then politics, Politics will not be different from what professions are. Professions will not be different from what school is. School won't be any different from what home is. So the continuum of axis, either for service or for self-survival. You need to check that. Then we have, there was a generation that gave their passion for something. Now we may have just passive observation, not involvement, not laying down your life for a cause, so that you may want commitment, but commitment is sort of a lost word. You have to tackle that, dad. Yes. So now I'm talking about 30-year-old dad. You thought it's cool to avoid when your dad was asking you. Now he's 60 years old. Now you have to deal with a 3-year-old son or a 5-year-old son who's playing all the tricks you played far worse than you did, because everything that was set off from 1960, the consumerist generation, everything that was set off is now far more consumerist than it was when you were a young man. Yes. So then God gave us a gift of originality and creativity. Now there's a lot of imitation. We are becoming fans of others. So here are some slogans to quickly convey this. Don't copycat, you are original. Wait improves taste. Haste makes waste. Busting up is dumb. Be the hero rather than a fan. Ape none, you've got better image. Save your body for the better morrow. Abuse follows a law of diminishing demands. Thrills follow a law of higher threshold and higher risk. That means the thing that stimulated you, you need a larger dose of it, whatever it is, pixel screen, thrill or whatever, you need a larger dose of it to achieve the same kind of satisfaction, not worth going for it. So generate the glory within. Don't be billboards and reflectors of the glory of others. Yes, taste is best when time is right. So beauty is God's gift. We have to teach them. And beauty is to be stewarded, not to be splashed, expended or ruined. Beauty is to be stewarded. Yes, so these are some of the value struggles that go on. And there was a generation that was into self-control, finance control, careful with cash, but we have a generation who is impulsive now, because that's the way the digital screen also set them up. Impulsivity, they are dopamine first. GABA has gone to a long recluse. GABA is gamma-aminobutyric acid that gives us empathy. So when you take a bit of alcohol, GABA is blocked. So that is the aggressive, my way is highway behavior. It's all the time on, even without alcohol now. Yes. So there was a generation that went for skill and care, but now there's a generation of haste, try and see, ready for experiments. So you need to understand the generational differences, not get into conflict, understand it. If you want this comparison, I can send it to you. Please send me a WhatsApp number, WhatsApp message asking for the value set comparison. If you just say value set, I know what you're asking, I can send it to you. Then initiation navigation mode took that generation into long-range perspective. So you begin life or you begin a day on your mark, get set, run, and press the tape. Now there is no such time of beginning, because they may get up at 10 in the morning. which is bad for health. So I teach this always, get up with sunrise, because then melatonin goes down and other hormones take up. But if you don't get up with sunrise, you get up at 8 in the morning, you jerk, and that is not good for your health. So train yourself and train your next generation to get up with sunrise, and then to be harmonious with melatonin that begins to secrete with sunset. So always try to observe sunset, go out, have a look, don't be under LED lights, don't be on the screen. At least take 15 minutes to do something while sun is setting. You get your melatonin going and you get your good night's sleep, rest. That is a separate subject. I can send you clips on melatonin, how you work with melatonin. If you just say melatonin, I know what to send you. So I'm on this point of once upon a time there were long range perspectives. Now upon a time there's instant gratification. And you know where that leads to, isn't it? Instant gratification. Consequences are not thought out. Cost is not thought out. It's just done. Yeah. So Dad, you have to counsel, coach your son and daughter about this. So you may be giving them the best education your money can get, but that's not enough. So I have this book. The foreword has been written by the warden of St. Thomas's College, my school, and the foreword has been written by the former dean of the medical faculty, a close friend of mine, Winning the Digital War for Millennials and Us All. It's a good book to read. Little technical, but anyone can appreciate it. It's available at Vijitayapa, it's available at Saraswati Bookshop, it's available on our website online. If you send me, if you watch my timeline, our website where books are will come up. So long range perspective versus instant gratification. I think I have spoken enough on this line. And final thing is that once upon a time family ties were important. Now people just decide on a country to go to, thinking there are greener pastures there. So I want to bring this to a close with a little topic that I have been researching for a long time. Here is a little analysis that I like to place before you. What shall I say? An assessment time. Assessment time. I'll read it to you. The king comes for this assessment. Because you're a dad, you have to take assessment time also. King comes for assessment time. Now let's see what that story has. And this is what the king says when he comes for assessment time. When the king came, everybody was gathered. Then the king said to those on his right, and he separated the sheep from the goats. So what is that? Sheep behavior is following a good shepherd and keeping your green pasture, keeping your next water hole, place of restoration, and consistent paths in you which you walk. Goat behavior is testing every fence with your horns first. Then you can't go even on an edanda because you fight with the next fellow. Then you have to be always kept on a leash, and you have to try the next thing. So what is his assessment of this human enterprise that had been going on? Then the king said, I was hungry, you gave me something to eat. So there are people who create hunger, and there are people who deal with hunger or look after. So you can see the food crisis, food shortage. I have done a clip on 4 apocalyptic horses. I think clip number 205. I'm not going to do it now, but 6 things that have come upon mankind. Hunger, I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. So polluted appetite, polluted thirst. So who is creating the thirst? In this parable, it's the goats. Then I was a stranger and you invited me. So many kids have lost their orientation, people have lost their nation, migration engineered by war and other means, migrants in other countries, strangers, kids leave home fast, then you want to seek your own future, you give up your parents and siblings and you go to another nation thinking there are greener pastures there, with no obligation to aging parents or to siblings who follow you. So that's a culture created over the last 40 years. Then I was naked and you clothed me, so you know nakedness is a industry now. In so many ways, it's very crass, you know. Now the American Psychiatric Association is saying some people have a orientation for pedophilia. They are trying to justify that. So first they justified abortion, then they justified rupture of marriage, then they justified just living together, then they justified LGBTQ, homosexualism, then they have justified transgenderism. Now it's coming down the line to far worse things, because this is what, when human beings begin to design what society should be, that's how they have designed. Now human beings have designed a virus. Now we have absolute proof that virus leaked from a lab, and then our immunity is being attacked. That's one thing that this virus is also doing. It puts down immunity inside you. So health is being redefined. So the wellness illness industry. So it says you were sick and you came to see me. So sickness has become big time industry, and over the last year, 3 people have become richer by $10 billion, and last year has created 11 more billionaires in 1 year. We know a billionaire is created in a lifetime, maybe with enterprise hard work, but last year created 11 more billionaires, dollar billionaires, yes. So that is how sickness became an industry. Then finally I was in prison, you came to see me. So addictions and different things that incarcerate people. So in this time, a father has a lot to do, but I want to give you an example or a role model. We also have a Heavenly Father who has given us qualities and characteristics of dependability. And we don't change because times change. Also sacrifice. We lay down life for our children. 3, there is also a father protects and lays down the boundaries. He tells these are the boundaries. Then the father takes you through difficult stretches. You are not alone. He's with you. He provides footsteps that can take you through. So these are 4 things that characterizes a father. I hope for Father's Day reflections and any orientation, this will help you. Some part was technical, other parts I tried to be a little more, what shall I say, humane, and but without the technical knowledge, you can't steer the next generation, which is very technocratic. So you have to teach them science, you can't fight with them. So I have many books that I have, small short books I have written, that you may read with them and bring them to understanding. I always say don't fight with them, don't argue with them, show them the science. Where are my English books? I'll just show you the singular, they are all available. This is on Right Learning for younger children, parents to read it. Right Learning and Recovering Childhood. They are available in 3 languages. Parenting in a digitally dominant age. Then I showed you my thick book. This one, Winning the Digital War, for millennials and us all. Thank you. We'll meet again. Yes.